Hey coaches, welcome back to another edition of the Fitness to Freedom Academy. Today we're talking about pulling the trigger.
Yes, sir.
Making quality decisions is one of the most important aspects of your life and business. Master Trainer Eric, can you open us up? How important is it not just to capitalize when I see an opportunity, but to pull the trigger, to make a decision? How and why is that so important?
I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges with people that, are transitioning from being personal trainers to business professionals. As a personal trainer, you're not really developed in that kind of mindset.
Right.
You're not thinking about sales. You're not necessarily thinking about growth. You're just thinking about taking on clients and just being able to pay your bills.
Right.
Which is fine if you're not trying to build something. But when you transition from that person that's just a personal trainer into okay, I want to be able to expand, I want to build something, I want to build a business, I want to build a community, I want to have more reach. That's where it's just okay, what do I need? It's really just establishing that list. What do I need right now to be able to get from ground zero to wherever it is I need to be? Having that mentality where I need to find out what that is and I need to get it. What am I going to do to get it? And when you have that mentality of being relentless and just doing what needs to be done, it's going to develop you in a lot of ways. And where it really relates to making a decision and being a decisive person, right?
Wow.
It's going to expand in all areas where you're now forming this mindset where you're very resilient, but you always see a solution. And instead of I just can't do it. There's not the time. It doesn't work. It's no, what's the solution?
Come on.
This isn't working. Okay, I need to do this. I need to pull this. And it goes back to a lot of what we talk about, having a vision. Now I have shaped my mindset to understand that instead of being frozen because of fear of the unknown or because of fear of failing, it's just no, just need to be able to understand that I need to be consistent in finding those things and those people and those programs and whatever it is that's going to allow me to grow.
Wow.
So that's really where to start. I mean, if you're that person that's kind of frozen right now and trying to understand okay, what do I need to do to pull the trigger moving forward?
That's a perfect place to start. It does presuppose all of the things that go into making a quality decision.
Yeah.
If we even break down that term, pulling the trigger, you got to think about where does this term come from and what does it mean? What happens if I don't pull the trigger? Yeah. And actually, you might be able to speak to this more than I can because being in the military background, praise God, you didn't have to go into a war situation in hostile territory, but you were in combat. You were trained you're a trained killer at the end of the day. What would happen in a combat situation if you're surrounded by guys that don't pull the trigger?
If I can relate it to business, basically everything crumbles. The plan crumbles, and it's really being able to understand that when you're in war, you go based off of a plan.
Right.
This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do it. If this happens, we're going to do this. When you're in the situation, it changes.
Right.
And so some people are this isn't the plan. I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. A lot of times people get frozen.
But it's different in a situation. In a war situation specifically, if you freeze, people die.
Right.
Right.
So now you're impacting those around you. When you're put in that situation where you are frozen or where you have to modify things and things don't go according to plan, it's just we need to think quick and be able to pivot.
Beautifully said.
This was my plan. I'm executing. It didn't work. Cool. I have a minute to think about it. What do I need to do? All right, we're going to do this instead. Just being resilient in that way.
And obviously, we're talking business here, so this is not physical life and death.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, your inability to pull the trigger will cost the life of your business.
Mm-hmm.
You could kill your business. And it's very relatable, as a football player, and I shared this before, there was one outfit more disciplined than us, the United States military. But the whole point of that mindset, that philosophy was we execute the game plan. There's always a contingency. So we have a game plan. We go in every week. We know who our opponent is. We know their strengths. We know their weaknesses. We know our plan of attack to exploit those weaknesses. We know our potential areas of risk and what they could potentially do. But like you said, in the game, it's always going to be different. You run scenarios, you run situations, you run circumstances all week at practice. You plan for every situation, but inevitably there's something you didn't plan for. But having that game plan is so critical because it helps me know how to pull the trigger, how to make a decision. When do I audible? When do I break off my route? When do I go outside and bounce it instead of keeping it inside, right? When do I look for my cutback lane? Having the plan teaches me when to pull the trigger, but also when not to.
Yeah, that's good.
And I say this so from a military standpoint even, ready, aim, fire. Pulling the trigger is the fire mechanism, but before you fire, you've got to be ready, take aim. Or from a business standpoint, have a vision, Have a culture or a map of where I'm going to go and how I'm going to get there. Know the alignments, know the software, know the necessary, everything I have available. I need to know and have it in front of me. I need to see what I have. That way I can also see what I don't have. Now I have an idea of where I need to go moving forward, or who I need to be with, or in some cases who I need to be going forward to reach my goal. On the second side of this pulling the trigger, there's the execution of I've just pulled the trigger. Now my job is done, or is there a follow-up?
And this is really good because when we chatted with Vince Del Monte, it reminds me of that conversation a bit. What I really love that Vince said was he's like, there is an unrealistic expectation that a lot of people have on coaches.
Wow.
When they invest into a coach, it's like, and this could be for anybody in health, this could be for anybody in life coaching, whatever the case. I mean, it's really just universal, just coaching in general. Like, there's people that think that if I invest in a coach, that coach is supposed to get me the results. There are people that may not see it that way, be like, yes, that is exactly what it's supposed to be.
Sure.
But the difference is, like, I made an investment, now this person is going to show me how to get there. That means that I need to execute. I need to be doing this stuff offline. I need to be taking that coaching, taking that instruction, and now adding it into what I'm doing. I troubleshoot. Brilliant. I get, I'm working that in because I believe the instructions that have been given to me. I think the problem is, like, a lot of people, they go through a program and they're like, all right, I'm going to sit back.
Yeah.
I invested into you. I'm giving you my money. You need to give me money. What do I do? It's just like, well, yes, I'm going to tell you what to do, but I don't know what you're doing behind closed doors.
As a matter of fact, that's kind of twofold too, because we also see in this dark marketing of this industry, there are literally coaches who promise that you sign up for my program, do nothing, and I'll get you a result.
Right.
My done for you program. All you have to do is show up. All you have to do is answer the phone. If you're thinking as a coach, and that's a marketing message coming at you, you have to think to yourself, what is the result that I can get from this? More importantly, what's the result I can give from this, right? If I sign up for a $10,000 coaching course and he's going to teach me how to run a challenge, but I don't make $10,000 back in the first month, is he a terrible coach? His challenge doesn't work? Or did I have the wrong mindset thinking he's going to do it for me, as opposed to I need to take this skill set so I can apply it to my clients? And this is the other side of what we see, is the lack of integrity in coaching. So there are coaches who will promise the world, but then there are coaches who will promise the world and knowingly not deliver.
Right.
And when you get got, it's frustrating. It's one thing to get got by a coach who promised one thing and you have the wrong expectation, but it's another thing to get got by someone who promised to help you with something you don't know and in ignorance made the investment or pulled the trigger. Now you have a hard lesson to learn.
And by the way, he's speaking on experience for the both of us. Like,
talking to us. Hope you take something away. And I say that to say that's exactly the point. When you've gotten, I've been gotten, now what? Often it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. I don't trust people. People are this. Oh, coaches are that. Oh, it's
not worth it. I'm never doing it again.
It creates a narrative and a bubble that keeps you stuck, keeps you locked in where you're at. But this is why we say pull the trigger. Even making the wrong decision is a great example of pulling the trigger to learn a lesson, because now I know what not to do. Not pulling the trigger costs lives. In a war situation, it's going to cost my colleagues, my comrades. In a business situation, it's going to cost my business.
Wow.
Potentially, it could cost my clients. By me not becoming the coach that I need to become, I don't offer the people who need that offer. They don't enroll in this program. They don't get the transformation. They don't get the breakthrough. They don't get the saved marriage. They don't get the breakthrough in their mindset to break off suicidal thoughts. People are tore up today. And I'm talking your clients and coaches, our clients. People are hurting. Everyone needs leadership. And that's why we get around people like Vince Del Monte. Because as coaches, we understand we need coaches. We need leaders. If you guys don't know Vince is an amazing, multiple seven-figure, been in it for almost 2 decades now, decade and a half, crushing it. And these are the people that we want to surround ourselves with. These are the people we want to surround you with. So when you come into a coalition like this, that's exactly what it is. It's a collaboration, it's a community, it's an environment. This is not a coaching course, not just a program that you get to sign up, go through your home study, make $10,000 a month. You can do that. That's certainly an opportunity for you. But this is a collaborative community. We are building something that has never been on the face of the earth before. Now, I say that tongue-in-cheek because there's nothing new under the sun, but this is a new generation, new mindsets, new philosophies, new things that have never been together before. So new in the sense of innovation. Right. Nothing we've said is nothing you haven't heard.
Right.
But having the right community, let me rephrase, having the right people in the right place, in the right season of your life is how you get the right results.
Yep.
But you have to make the quality decision to pull the trigger and get in the game.
Yeah.